It'll ask you if you're sure you want to remove Display Capture 2. Select yes. And now it's gone. The up-down arrows change the priority of the sources. Make sure the source you currently want to use is at the top of the list. In addition to recording your display, OBS also records your desktop audio from games, websites, or any other software on your computer. It can also record the audio from your microphone. So let's head over to the mixer section. For desktop audio, click the settings icon to the right of the volume bar. Select
Traveling for business doesn't have to feel like work.
Is one of the cheapest and best ways to stream on Facebook Live or YouTube. Hello, I'm Stephen Ballast. Welcome to my channel where I explore worship technology solutions. Live streaming is a really popular topic right now. Everybody is looking at how to get their church's live stream up and running. So I'm going to show you one method for streaming to Facebook Live using an external camera or a switcher with OBS software on a PC. There are several reasons you'd want to use an external camera through a video interface, like this Blackmagic Intensity Shuttle. First, it allows you to use better cameras with better lenses, longer zoom capability, and more control over exposure, and use external audio inputs, all of which are important in a production environment. Also, this setup lays the groundwork for growing your video system. If you start with one camera, just add a switcher and another camera and you've got a multi-camera setup, still using all the equipment that you invested in originally. Let's talk through the hardware I have here, and some gotchas to look out for with the Intensity Shuttle. On the input, I'm using one of our production cameras with an HDMI output, but you could also use a switcher with an HDMI output. The Intensity Shuttle takes that in through a full-size HDMI connector and then connects to your computer through a regular USB 3 connection. Some people struggle to get video working through the Intensity Shuttle, and I think the reason is an overlooked technical spec. But you could also use a switcher with an HDMI output. The Intensity Shuttle takes that in through a full-size HDMI connector and then connects to your computer through a regular USB 3 connection. Some people struggle to get video working through the Intensity Shuttle, and I think the reason is an overlooked technical spec or limitation in its specification. If you look at the video standards that it supports, it doesn't support 1080p 60. Unfortunately, a lot of cameras output this format on their HDMI connector, especially a lot of cheap consumer cameras. For instance, I couldn't get the usual entry-level camera that I recommend, the Canon R800, to work directly connected to the shuttle because its HDMI output defaults to 1080p 60. Even if you set the camera to record at its lower bit rates, which are supposed to be 720 resolution, the HDMI output still stays at 1080p 60. If I ran it through a format converter that forced the output to 720p, which is supported, then it worked fine. So what this comes down to is if you're going to use the Intensity Shuttle, which for about $200 is a good video interface, just be aware of what the limitations are and pay really close attention to the video standards that your camera supports. And use one that lets you control what video standard the camera is set to. If you're using a switcher like an ATEM, just set your video standard to something other than 1080p 60. And if you're streaming on Facebook Live, there really isn't any reason to download and install OBS from the one quick check you can do to make sure your hardware is working. Tip that you can use to verify that everything on the Blackmagic capture device side is happy and working. Once you have your camera connected, open up OBS and first you're going to add a source and select Blackmagic device, and then create and first you're going to add a source and select Blackmagic device. Open up OBS, and first you're going to add a source and select Blackmagic device, and then create new. Select intensity